Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back. There's not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. Shout out to everybody who tunes into the channel, who likes, subscribe, watches. Please consider subscribing if you don't, man. And leave a like, leave a comment. I try to get to as many of them as possible. But shout out to everybody who's here. Want to go back to 2009 today. Go back in time a little bit, set the scene, describe the scene. There's a young woman by the name of Keri Hilson, and she is popping, all right? She's a singer-songwriter who's part of a production and writing group called The Clutch. They were writing and delivering hits for everyone, man. Like, I'm talking about, just for example, Marion's Icebox, classic song. Like, they were a part of that. Sierra's Like a Boy, classic song. They were a part of that. I mean, they were working with Avant, Mary J. Blige, Jagged Edge, Fantasia. And Keri was hot. Keri was hot, and she starts stepping out in front of the mic and she starts killing it, right? She's breaking out. She's featured on Timbaland's The Way I Are. She's on songs with Lloyd Banks. She's on songs with Nas. She's on songs with Chris Brown, like their songs. She's on songs with Fabulous, Plies as a feature. And, around this time, she's launching her solo career. She signed to Timbaland and she's signed to Polo the Don. I think Timbaland, if I'm not mistaken, at that time, might have had like Mosley Music Group, and Polo the Don had Zone 4. And so she signed to both of them jointly and then is going through Interscope. So 2009, she drops her solo debut In a Perfect World, had the singles Energy, Knock You Down with Kanye, which everybody remembers was with Kanye and Neo. And before that, she had the single Turnin Me On, which was like really, really heating up. Song is blowing up. So they drop a remix with T-Pain and Lil Wayne. And on the remix, Keri Hilson sings some lines, some subs. And what everybody heard and what we know was intended at that time was shots at Beyonce. And this is 2009 Beyonce. So this is like after the Sasha Fierce, the I Am Sasha Fierce album, which came out in '08. So, I mean, she's a proven force already, right? Like Beyonce is really like cemented her place in music. The Beehive is real and swarming, you know what I'm saying? And supporting and swarming. So Keri sings. This is the lyrics. Keri sings, your vision is cloudy. If you think that you're the best, you can dance, she can sing, but she need to move it to the left, which is a play off of Beyonce's Irreplaceable, to the left, everything you own in the box to the left. So she need to move it to the left. She need to go have some babies. She need to sit down. She fake. Them other chicks ain't even worth my time to talk about. So that was the lyric in the remix, sandwiched in between the T-Pain verse and the Lil Wayne verse. And that created some tension. This is also the rise of social media. This is what's going on at that point. Twitter specifically. So a lot of people are vocal. You're able to see what people hear in real time, people's reactions to music, to things, to events in real time on Twitter. So the Beehive is gaining more and more power, and a lot of the narrative is that after that diss, Keri's career took a dive. That really hurt her career. She did drop No Boys Allowed the next year. She dropped her second album the next year and had the song Pretty Girls Rock on it, which was a big single. So, it's not, I think sometimes, like, looking back, people conveniently tell the story like, yo, she dropped that Beyonce diss and her career just fell off after that. It didn't quite happen like that, but it was a big thing at the time, and it did hurt, right? It did maybe hurt the perception and the dent and slow down what the path that she was on was. Just this amazing path. Like, yo, who is this new girl that she writes? She's a writer. She's giving all these hits. Oh, she comes out and she could actually sing her own songs and her own hits. Oh, and she's really pretty. She has the look. Oh, okay. Like, it was really setting up to be such an amazing career. And not that, I mean, Keri's a legend. Like, let's not get it twisted. I don't want to downplay what she's done, but there was a trajectory and a perception of where she would go, and that took a hit a little bit. But the perception is that her career didn't go where it was expected to go because she fell out of favor after dissing Beyonce. And the truth may be somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying? The interesting thing, or the interesting thing to me here, one of the interesting things is at the time, the internet, the blogs, the media, and I was in the media then. I was working at XXL, had so much to say. Everybody had so much to say. And it seems like we didn't know the full story. It seems like we didn't get the full story. So now Keri is getting set to release a new album. It's called We Need to Talk. It's coming out next week. So Keri was on the Breakfast Club this morning. And shout out to my guy, Charlamagne the God, man. That's my brother. Shout out to DJ Envy. Shout out Jess Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa as well. So in the interview, Keri talked about being out of her contract and being independent. And she talked, about releasing this new album and where she is now. She seems to be in a really, really dope place. But she talked about the Beyonce backlash that came up. She talked about being depressed. She talked about going through things personally, not just because of that. It seems like there was other things going on in her life personally. She also talked about professional woes, and all of these things probably contributed to why we didn't see her career go the way it went. But she admitted there was personal joints. She admitted there was professional woes, and she said that it was her choice to take a step back. And she clearly said she wasn't blackballed. She doesn't think she was blackballed. She doesn't put it on that. She also talked about the anxiety or the feeling of how her words get twisted in interviews, and her doing this round of interviews, how her words would get twisted in posts and videos like this, and commentators like myself. So I always try to do my best in that regard, but I'm gonna tread lightly here. So basically, Keri, according to Keri, her career was threatened that if she didn't do the verse as it was written for her, and remember, she's a writer, so she could write her own verse, but again, she explains being on tour, like not really having the time, but she still wrote her own verse. But when she got to the studio, something was already prepared for her and ready for her to sing. And she was threatened that if she didn't do the remix as it was written, then her album wasn't coming out. What a terrible position to be in, right? I remember, again, at the time I was working with Double XL. I was sitting at my desk. I remember when the song leaked, I downloaded it, and I caught the bars right away. I caught the diss right away. And it was like, damn, why is Keri hating? I remember that being my reaction. I remember online the bullets that she was taking, the figurative bullets that she was taking, the backlash that she was taking from fans, particularly from Beyonce fans, particularly from the Beehive. And now we find out she didn't even write the lyric. She didn't even write the lyric, and she was forced to sing it. So it turns out the lyric was written by Esther Dean, who's an amazing writer in her own right. And if you go to the actual Breakfast Club post, like, Esther Dean is owning the fact that she wrote this. Her name is on the credits as well. But the lyric was written by Esther Dean. And Esther Dean has a ton of dope credits. I mean, she wrote a lot for Rihanna. She wrote a lot on the Talk album, which is my favorite re-album. Songs like Where Have You Been, You the One. Esther wrote for Usher, Katy Perry, Chris Brown. She's worked with Nicki on Super Bass. Her credits are crazy. Esther Dean, if you don't know Esther Dean, look up her discography. Her credits are crazy as a writer. So Keri took the brunt of that. You know what I'm saying? Like Keri took the blame for all of that. She didn't even write it. The wild thing is she was signed to Polo the Don and Timbaland, right? Like I said, Polo was the one that really pushed her into doing it, according to Keri, what she says on the Breakfast Club. Polo went on to work with Beyonce after this. So Polo didn't seem to feel any backlash from it. It'll be interesting to see his perspective, but it didn't seem Polo had any backlash from this. It was unclear how involved Timbaland was in that decision of releasing that remix. Even in the interview, Keri said she doesn't remember Timbaland being in the room. She wondered in hindsight how he feels about it now, but she doesn't really remember Timbaland being involved in that decision. But she was signed to Timbaland and Polo. Of course, Timbaland has went on to work with Beyonce after this. And after that, even Esther Dean went on to work with Beyonce on the 4 album. And the whole time it was Keri that took the blame because she's in the forefront. She was the one that sung the lyrics. We didn't even fathom that the decision wasn't solely hers. You know what I'm saying? She took the entire blame. But I like in her interview, and shout to her for, she takes accountability still. She says she wishes she would have fought harder against it. Like she says, hey, maybe I didn't fight hard enough. I wish I would have fought harder against it. At the same time, it doesn't negate the position that she was put in. It doesn't negate what happened to her. It doesn't mean that she takes the whole blame. It doesn't mean as a young woman, as a young artist, that there isn't someone else in the room to stick up for her. You know what I'm saying? And to say, hey, well, what's not what maybe what's best for the song or what's best for the moment, because it was a shocking moment and it made everybody listen to the song for sure. But is this the best thing for this artist's career? You know what I'm saying? I love how she takes accountability and says she would have fought harder against it. Bravo to that. But that doesn't negate that what happened to her. That doesn't mean she takes the whole blame for this. Her career seemingly suffered because of that, and everybody else in that situation was able to do just fine. I just thought it was interesting, man. It's a story that a lot of music fans remember, or know pieces of the story and not the whole thing. I certainly didn't know the whole thing. But I remember this story. And then for some of y'all, this is new. They'd be like, what? I never heard of this. I'm going to go back and listen to the remix. I didn't even know this happened. But now, years later, we're getting this context. And it's like, wow, things weren't what they seemed at the time. And maybe there was a lot of rush to judgment. You know what I'm saying? Particularly in the media. Again, I think about this a lot because I'm in the media. So it's just like, even when things happen, it's like, well, what's really going on here? What's the real story? And a lot of times we don't know. And we just make the best commentary or the best reports based off of the information we have. But it's definitely a lesson like, oh wow, like, because I remember thinking it was one way in 2009 and you're like, oh wait, there was more to this story. So I think that's a lesson here, maybe the not to rush to judgment. Hopefully Keri can move on. It seems like she moves on. It seems like she's healed from it, though she did tear up a bit talking about it in the Breakfast Club interview. Man, she took some tissue, but she seems to be in a good place if you watch the whole interview. But I just wish her the best. I wish her the best of luck on this new album, We Need to Talk. That's the name of it, right? The album is called, We Need to Talk. So wish her the best on this new album. I think it drops April 18th. I'm going to take a listen for sure. And, just let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Like, do y'all remember this moment? What did y'all feel in this moment? What did y'all feel now with this new information? Let me know. Let's talk about it, all right? Till the next time. Peace.